Okay, so obviously, as I was setting that up, I pressed the wrong button. Apologize. We will get this right here eventually. John, what's happening? Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button there. Wave it, John. What's going on? So I apologize, guys. We're just getting all this set up. I was running from another meeting. Bess is with us. Bring on. So basically,
that was a short Facebook Live.
That was the shortest Facebook Live I've ever done. I was like, that's the law of timing.
Where are you?
So funny. So we just got out of our NTI event, just got done speaking, fantastic, and I'm just gonna hit this and then run back in there to kind of finish up. Mike is back from New York, and Tina's with us. Welcome back. I know she just was banned from Facebook. I don't know what the heck happened, but she was like, I'm back. I'm out of, Facebook purgatory there. Sherry's with us. Welcome. That sometimes happens. So guys, welcome to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. Bess McCarty, Jeff Gamble. I'm actually out of Indianapolis, Indiana. So when you come in, please announce yourself and where you're actually joining us from. That's always cool to know. Sometimes I think like Michael, I thought was in Northern Indiana. He's like, I'm in Michigan. And if you're in Northern Indiana, you don't want to make that mistake and say, oh, this person's from Northern Indiana. They're probably a fan of Notre Dame. And they're like, no, I'm a Michigan fan, and now I have to do away with you. Nancy's with us.
At your own
People
risk.
are crazy about their sports here.
At your own risk. You put whatever you feel comfortable in there.
Yes.
So hi, Jacqueline, Melissa, John, Nancy, everybody, and Jenna. Oh boy. So glad you're here. And Jeff, thanks for taking time out of your busy speaking schedule. You had to tell them, you had to tell them, hey, everybody wants me. I'll be right back, you guys.
Well, it was kind of like, and now I have to go. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe they can watch you on their phones,
No, what's happening? Yeah, that's really weird. Walk into the next room and then I'm back.
Yeah.
Live.
So
let's go ahead and get this rolling.
Yeah, just to introduce us, Bess McCarty of the MLM Millionaire Club School for Network Marketers, Jeffrey David Gamble of my Leadership Network, certified John Maxwell trainer. And that's why we're able to partner to bring you these lunchtime leadership shows every weekday at noon Eastern time. And today we're going to start from the very beginning. So anybody who has not caught the whole series, this is your chance to do that. This is law number 1, the law of the lid. And that sounds weird. What is that about? Well, we'll see in just a minute. Jeff will explain it. I wanted to share with you that our purpose is to help people grow, to equip, empower, and educate entrepreneurs, and to create independent servant leaders. So we believe that you will get a lot out of this. Share it with your team. If you're watching the replay, please type in replay so that we can thank you. And if you know who could benefit from being a leader, please tag them below. And Jeff.
Awesome. So what we want to do is we want to jump right into this. So if you have a pen and a piece of paper, I encourage people to take notes, because sometimes there's things that said that you can use in your business right away. Myra, how are you? Welcome. So here's what we're going to do. Your leadership is like a lid or a ceiling on your organization. And some things you want to know about leadership is all of these lessons that we're going to give are learnable. Some people think that, this stuff is just predestined for certain people. It's for everybody. It's directed. These messages are going to be directed towards direct sales, but you can use them in any area of your life, whether it be your relationships, your family life, your work. This transcends basically all areas of life. Another thing is if you do not know these lessons, they come with consequences. So unfortunately, when I first learned about these, the first time I looked at them, I actually knew 3 of them. I was like, wow, 3 of these I'm really good at. And I was so proud. And I was like, those 3, those are laws. I mean, those are absolute laws. I'm good at them. I know they work, this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, these other 18 that I don't know about. I'm not so sure about those. I don't know if those are laws. I need to call John Maxwell and send him a message. I'm like, are you sure these are laws? And positively, they are laws. Donald, what's happening? These are the absolute things you need to know to be able to build a business. Also, all laws stand on their own. So you don't necessarily need to know one to get good at another. So just, some food for thought about these laws. Now, here's what you can expect from the progress as we engage in those laws. Number one, we want to learn the laws in an overview. Number two, we're going to discuss the law, the living law of how it works working inside of direct sales. And number three, the idea is to lead other people to these laws. That's what we want to do. So number one, the law of the lid. Leadership is the ability or a lid that determines a person's level of effectiveness. So the better you are at leadership, the more people you'll be able to effectively lead. The more people who will want to follow you. The lower an individual's ability to lead, the lower the potential lid, and the less people who will want to follow. There's a really good saying that if you feel you're a leader and there's no one following you, then you're really just taking a walk. And I've taken a lot of walks inside of companies and businesses by myself. You turn around and be like, come on team, let's go. And there's no team to be with. So whatever you accomplish will be restricted or propelled by your ability to lead. A lot of people think, well, this company isn't, or this product isn't, or my upline isn't, or, my team isn't. Well, it really has everything to do with you. The common denominator is you. That's part of the blessing and part of the problem, because the easiest person to change is you. The only person you can really change is you. But also the problem is you're in your own way. How do we live out and understand the laws of the lid? Well, living the law of the lid. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through 21. There's 21 qualities of a leader. And this actually comes from one of his books, 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader. And these are the 21 qualities that you want to have to become a leader. And these are things you can work on. These are things, again, I looked out of my head 3 or 4 of these. The rest of them I wasn't that good at. But what you want to do is rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on these particular character traits. So these qualities. Number 1 is character. On a scale of 1 to 10, where's your character at? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Can people count on you? Do people believe in you? Hi, Dawn. See, Dawn just came up with us. Number 2, charisma. On a scale of 1 to 10, where is your charisma level? When it comes, and we're talking about at home and at work, and when you're building your business, and when you're out with other people, where's your charisma level? Where's your energy level? Number 3, commitment. Where's your commitment level? Are you doing what you say you're going to do? And when you say you're going to do something, is it a done deal? Is it a contract? Michael's with us. Welcome. Raja with us. Hello. Number 4, communication. What do you feel your communication level is? Now, this should also say connection level, and I think that's down here. A lot of people are like, my communication level is great because I talk all the time and everything. But my thing is it a two-way street? Competence. How well do you know your subject matter of what you're talking about? Is it inside and out? Chris, what's happening? Welcome. 5, 6, courage. What is your level of courage? Are you the person that's like, I'm going to step out on a limb here and go do it? What's your courage level when you run into somebody and you're supposed to talk to them? You're supposed to network with them. Are you the first person to go up and introduce yourself, or do you wait until they introduce themselves? Next, discernment. Discernment. How good are you at making decisions and making decisions on the spot? Next, focus. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your level of focus? When you start working on a project, do you also start making a sandwich, vacuuming the floor, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, working on a car part? I'm just talking about like my Saturday. That's like, my focus was all over the place. It took me a while before I could just focus on one thing. Next, generosity. Again, we're going over the 21 indispensable qualities of a leader, and what we want you to do is write, a 1 through 10. Where are you at with each one of these? Alex is with us. Andrew's with us. Generosity. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your generosity level? How often do you help out without getting anything back? Initiative. How often are you the one who takes the initiative to get something started? Michael's with us. What's happening, sir? Listening. How well do you listen? I was told my whole life, you have 2 ears, you have 1 mouth. We're just reminding you because you're not using it in that order. So 50% more listening than talking would be good. Some of us need like 3,000% more. Passion. When you go after and do something, how passionate are you about completing it? Positive attitude. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your positive attitude? Do things get you down? Does life affect you? Do circumstances stop you from doing what you're doing? Problem solving. Problem solving on a scale of 1 to 10, when something comes up, the tire blows out, the laundry, the washer dies, you have something that's due right away that you forgot about. How well do you problem solve and figure things out? Do you get overly emotional about it? Break down, does it ruin your month or year? Relationships on a scale of 1 to 10, are you great at building relationships and keeping relationships? Responsibility, scale of 1 to 10. Can people hand you something and can you go get it done? Security, how well do you build security for other people? Like, we're in this to win it. I mean, think about it from a business perspective. How well do you shine on, security for your team and your group? We're going to be here regardless of what happens, regardless of who comes in, regardless of the marketplace, and what goes on in the economy, regardless of what's happening. Are you the person that can, provide that security for people? Simon Sinek actually talks about this, and he said that one of the number 1 jobs of a leader is basically to provide security for the organization. Self-discipline. Can you get yourself to do what you're supposed to do? Do you eat the food you're supposed to? We were just talking about this. What's easy to do is easy not to do. It's easy to eat an apple a day. It's easy to drink a bottle of water in the morning, but it's also easy not to do. I had some coffee this morning, I'll be real honest. Servanthood. How often are you willing to give before you get? How often are you willing to go help somebody with no idea that you're ever going to get a return? Teachability. Are you humble? Are you humble where, somebody can be like, hey, I think there's a better way to do this. And you're like, okay, I'm willing to listen. And maybe that's the best way. I don't know. Let's go try that. And then last, vision. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your vision? What is your ability to cast vision and see the future? See the future meaning imagination. A lot of people don't realize that, the thing that creates imagination can create fear and it can create faith. It's the same exact mental pathway. It's just one is positive and one is negative. Faith is positive. Hey, if this happens, this is how it could work out. Fear is the negativity. Hey, if this happens, this is how it could go bad. Which one are you imagining? Things going right or things going bad? What is your vision for the future? So here's what you do. Out of these 21 qualities, what you're going to do is you're going to add them all up, and then you're going to divide by 21. That will give you kind of where you're at on a level, but what it also does is it specifically shows you the areas that you're lacking most and also what your strengths are. So what you want to do is you want to circle your strengths and be like, those are the things I'm really good at. And then what you want to do is you want to look at your weaknesses and the things you're not good at, and that's what you want to focus on learning more about. The book, The 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader is it's an amazing, amazing book just to learn more about you and the people around you. So ask those closest to you to grade your lid. This is good. Ask those closest to you to take this list out and grade you on a scale of 1 to 10. I would say somebody who's grown up with you, a parent, brother, sister, aunt, uncle. I would also say work. So he says, grab 2 people, grab a good friend and grab somebody you've worked with in the past and blindly have them do this. This is a true test. So what you want to do is you want to look at your friend. You want to look at, your coworker, and you want to look at you and say, are we seeing things the same way? I think what you'll find is in a lot of cases, you're not going to see things exactly the same. Some of them you will. They'll be like, oh yeah, that person's really good at that. And that's the thing you're good at. But some people will see you're good at stuff you might not think you're good at. Some people will think you're worse at stuff that you think you're good at. Those are things to evaluate. So go back to the 21 qualities and find out where you can make the greatest improvement by growing. Remember, focus on your strengths, but bring your weaknesses up to, skill as well. Things you can do to raise your lid. Value experience with reflection. Look at the past and say, what have I been good at in the past? And also, what have I not been good at? What have I failed at? That's a really good thing to know. Invest in training. You're investing right now in training. You're investing in taking a couple minutes to learn about leadership during lunch hour. And that was the whole purpose of doing this, is Bess and I wanted to raise the overall standard of what's going on in the industry. We wanted to be able to give some skills. We wanted to be able to give some backgrounds to help people out without there being any cost or anything attached to it. Mentorship and coaching. So here's the thing. If you have a mentor inside your company, if you have a mentor inside your direct sales company, inside your MLM, somebody to help with, great. You know, sit down with them once a week or once a month and, you know, sit down and evaluate how you're doing with things. If you don't, there's coaching. There are people out there like Bess that you can come to and say, hey, look, I need to sit down and I need to evaluate this and figure out what I'm doing good and what I need help on. Number 4, mastermind and focus. Get together with like-minded people who are all going in the same direction and find out what their insights are. That's kind of what we're doing here, is getting a mastermind group together. That's why we built the group, the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show, is to be able to take that information, put it in one place, and actually mastermind. Find out what other people are thinking, what other people are doing. Because I don't have all the answers. Bess doesn't have all the answers. We've got some good ones, and we're doing some research, but, you know, I'm open. You know, there are other people who still teach me things, whether they're new or not. Do something beyond yourself. That's another way to raise your lid, grow your level of leadership. Reflect on reflect on who's been a lid lifter, meaning reflect on somebody who's basically asked you to raise your standard, asked you to improve in what you're doing, who's coached you, who's believed in you, who's helped you. What characteristics do those people have that basically help raise the lid? You know, what do those characteristics have, those people have? So here's some other questions to ask yourself. In the book, it talks about the McDonald brothers. I'm going to skip that. Describe a time in your life when you were stuck and someone came in and challenged you to become better. A, who is that person? And B, what qualities did they have? And here's the question. This is what I always get, and I don't care whether it comes to networking or it comes to your relationship or comes to your work. Could you grow your leadership ability 1%? He says a week. What if you could grow your ability 1% a day? What if you could read from a good book once a day, 10 to 15 pages, and you could grow your leadership by 1%? What would your life look like in a month or in a year or in 5 years? How much better off would you be? As coaches and trainers, we basically have to begin by listening to people and then turning around and saying, what area can we help somebody grow in today? You know, you can't get it all at once. So with that, that is the lesson of today, the law of the lid, the 21 indispensable qualities is what we're going to go over and figure out. And what I'm going to do is turn this over to Bess and get her insight on this lesson.
Thanks, Jeff. I got all that.
Bess?
I wrote all that down. Oh, that was a lot. First, I'd like to say hi to Roy, Varen, Karine, Donald, Jelvin, Aviva, and Nina. Thank you all for joining us. And yes, if you're watching the replay, please type replay. If you would like to be added to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show Facebook group, type me in the comments and I'll add you in there. If anybody would like a text reminder of this, please private message me. Also, we'd love to know where you're from. So love when you type that in. So that was a mess of information, wonderful information. I think I got all of the 21 qualities, and looking them over, I would say that focus might be the one that I need to focus on. So I know that a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and that if I celebrate and use my strengths, great. And if I can just, if we just look at one of those today, one of them to improve, we're not going to improve all 21 of them in this half hour, but if you can focus, just take one, just one that you could improve today, and see if you can do the opposite. You know, if I get distracted on Facebook, I go somewhere and then, oh, Facebook shows me somebody's feed, it's my friend or my niece or something like that, and then I'll be gone for half an hour. So what we can do is, one way to change that I like is to run a mind movie. If I want to see myself being more generous, more focused, more courageous, then I can do that. I can just take a minute and imagine myself with the qualities that I wish that I had. And maybe I can know someone who has those qualities and I want to be like them, so I focus on those qualities and I can make them my own. That's worked for me all my life. Really, instead of being jealous of somebody, think, oh, I want to embody those qualities myself. And I imagine that I do. And I imagine what my actions would be like and my words would be like if I did that. So that mind movie. I just love Jeff's technique of asking somebody close to you to give their assessment of these things. It might be different than my own, but that takes courage. And that is the number 6 of the 21 qualities, indispensable qualities of leadership that he mentioned. Who has the courage to do that? If anybody does and gets a response, I'd love to hear your feedback on that, maybe tomorrow. What did you learn that was different than what you thought about yourself? Now, remember, they're subjective too. You could still check it out against your own, inner intuition. Let that be tops. But go ahead and invite to be that teachable person and that courageous person to ask other people, what, and some people even say, if you're brave enough, your mate. Would you rate me on these things? So Nancy is from El Paso. Welcome, welcome. Nina's from El Paso, and Nancy says, that's me too. You mean the focus? Let's write in a question. You have a question for us about any of these things today, about the law of the lid, the ceiling that we can hold ourselves unless we lift that ceiling. Type that in, and any comments or questions or insights or tips that you can give us, please write that in too. I'll turn it over to Jeff.
Okay, guys, so the purpose of this is to help people grow, answer questions. We do have a group, the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. If you're not already a part of it, please go over to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show, ask to be a part of that group. The only thing we ask is keep it generic, keep it to leadership, keep away links and specifics about companies and products. If we find that you're putting links and other products and driving people, away from what we're doing, we're just going to basically delete that and delete you. We'll ask everybody at least once, to not do that. So there is a fair warning, but we want to keep it to leadership and to that topic. So that way everybody feels safe inside the group. That's the idea. And then Bess and I actually are not only doing this here, but we're also running a basics class. We can put that link below. She has written a book called Always Get a Yes. I had some insights that are some quotes inside of it to help people out inside the industry. So how do you get good at building relationships in your business? Any recommendations? One of the things that I can suggest is something that I just went over in the NTI meeting, which is something called FORD, or FORM. And it stands for friendly or family, occupation, recreation, and the message and or the desire or dream. So what I've found I do is I like to sit down with people and find out about them. So I actually wrote out a specific list of questions to go through. Kevin Goodman's watching with us. Thank you. I wrote out a specific list of questions, and when I sit down with somebody, those are the questions that I'm asking. I'm not talking about my business. I'm not talking about my product. I'm getting to know the other person, only it's a systematic way to ask those questions. It's called I wrote it out as an agent profile, but it's really an interview sheet. I'm going to change the name, make it generic, so that way everybody can have it. And that'll be something we can post inside of this group. Nancy's watching with us. Thanks for joining us. So great question by Raj.
Yeah, Raj, thank you. That's pretty foundational to everything, isn't it? That's a very good question to have us focus on. Something else that I just love to do is I like to snoop and learn about people before I contact. If I see somebody makes a positive post on a group, like that's how I met Jeff, then I'll go to his Facebook page and I'll read his about, what he writes about himself. I'll read his posts, I'll look at his pictures. All those give me a feeling about him. Then I can go over and private message him and say, hey, I left your comment over here and I see that we both live in Texas, or I see that we both like organic food, or we both have dogs, or find something in common and mention that, or mention what it is about their about page that that they wrote about themselves. I'd like to know more about how you do this or that. So all that information's there. You can take it, you can build on it. People get flattered. Wow, she read it. I wrote all that stuff, but nobody ever reads it, but she read it. Or she wants to know more about and flattery, compliments, not flattery, but compliments. So I loved what you wrote over here. Tell me more about that. What did you mean about that? People love to talk about themselves.
Yep, absolutely. So guys, if you have questions, if you have concerns, that's what we want to put over in there. Chris Terry's with us. Welcome. You know, we went over the 21, you know, we're going over the 21 laws of leadership every single day. We go over a different law, the lesson that Maxwell gives us inside of the book, the 21 laws of leadership. If you don't have that book, Bess can put a link below to that book. And then what we're doing is we're going to download this entire series, actually put it on YouTube. There is a deaf organization that I work with, and there's, you know, thousands, actually there's over 1 million deaf people in the United States, you know, participating in the workforce. And we're going to put this up for them as well, because what I've found is this is great information to get out there to every single person. We don't want to leave anybody behind or let anybody not have the information. And YouTube has the ability to do closed caption, and unfortunately Facebook Live hasn't figured that out yet. I'm sure it's coming, but they just haven't figured it out yet. So we're going to put this on the YouTube platform so that way people can watch the replays. We're also taking the replays and putting them in the Lunchtime Leadership Show on the Facebook page. It's a private group. It is closed down. All you have to do is ask to join. And we're going to verify that you're you and bring you into that group. You can ask questions. You can mastermind with us. You know, it's basically private just to this group. We want to keep it to leadership. No company links. No company specifics, just generic things, questions about leadership. And with that, guys, we're going to wrap this up because I got to get into the other room. Bess, any closing thoughts?
Just if you want me to add you to that group, MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show, just write me in the comments and I'll do that. And that book that Jeff mentioned, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership that we're teaching these from, one a day, free on this lunchtime thing. That's a free book. So I'm going to put that PDF in the links too. We'd love to have you tomorrow, which is the Law of Influence. Number 2, the Law of Influence, tomorrow, noon Eastern time. Bring your friends, bring your team. It's generic, safe, help you grow.
Thank you guys so much. If you have any direct questions for us, just instant message either one of us, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you guys. Have a great Monday.
Bye.